Well, what out of this 8-hour workday, is that drafting straight through? Is that drafting plus revising? Is that emails and all the business side of things?
It used to be pure writing, and I miss those days. Now it's definitely a lot of business stuff, a lot of emails and phone calls. When things are normalish, I I can write until maybe 2 p.m. and then uh, and then it's all emails and phone calls. That's when I have the luxury of being able to stack those into the afternoon. Sometimes, obviously, you can't control all that stuff, and it's going to interrupt the day. But when I have my way, I will stack things at the end of the day, and if I really have my way, I'll stack them at the end of the day, near the end of the week.
Gotcha. So those early hours, you want to be drafting. What time do you start?
Yes. It depends on various things, but I'm usually writing by, I don't know, 7:30, sometimes much earlier, not usually much later. Yeah, so the start time is always pretty reliable. The end time's a little more fluid.
Do you do writing rituals to get started, or is it just grab a cup of coffee, sit down, and go? How do you fire up?
Yeah, no rituals. Just sit down and go. Anything. It's almost the opposite. If any, I'm probably more easily thrown off than I'd like to be by things that would interrupt me getting to work early. The worst thing for my writing is if I have some other obligation the first thing in the morning. Because I need to sit down and get to work because I'm probably thinking about it as the second I get up, I'm thinking about what I'm writing that day. So if I have something wipe out the first few hours of the morning, for example, it's difficult for me to really salvage the day at that point.
And how do you know if you have had a successful day? Do you count word count? Do you have goals on the story you want to get to?
For many years, most of my career, I did not do anything like that. I didn't count words. I've started to do that. I started a few books back when I had a book that was on a very tight deadline, and I knew I just mathed it out. I just thought, well, there's no way I'm going to get this done unless I write. I don't remember what it was, but it was something. It was a lot. It was maybe 3,500 words a day or something like that, which is a lot for me anyway. So I started keeping track of that, and it did help, and I think it does help. It helps because generally I make my word count goals. If I was constantly failing those goals, it would probably be a very depressing practice that I should probably stop. But as it stands, I almost always make the goals, so it probably gives me a little bit of a boost to know that I'm staying on track. So it's a sort of I'm setting myself up for success in a way.
And then when you write all day, do you feel free to go and read fiction at night? Or is it, no, I'm done looking at words for a minute, I got to do something else?
Oh, yeah. I'll definitely read at night. Yeah, there's no problem there. I want to always be reading things and watching movies. I don't watch a ton of TV or shows, but again it comes down to like the old idea of series stuff. Like I don't want to get sucked into a story that goes on too long. I want things that move like as quickly as I want my brain to move. So I tend to watch a lot of movies and read a lot of books, and a wide variety. Like my book choices are all over the map, every genre you can imagine. So reading and watching things and listening to things, all of them hopefully pretty challenging to me. I don't do a ton of comfort reading or comfort watching. I want stuff that pushes me and makes me have to think. That's all very, very important to the writing.
So do you go back and like comfort read the Stephen King books you loved for back in the day, or is it, nope, let's move on, let's read something new?
No, I almost never reread and I rarely rewatch. I'm pointed forward. I really want to keep progressing and keep moving and keep experiencing new things. I want my work to. I want to do what I can. I am relatively prolific, and I think the only way to sustain that and not to keep writing books that feel the same is to keep challenging myself, and having a daily input of challenging material so that I can continue to output an increasingly varied array of projects.